in the remote mountains of Palawan, a small group of people has lived in near isolation for generations. The Tau't Batu, also called the people of the rocks, live inside the Singnapan Basin, a valley surrounded by steep cliffs. They take shelter in caves, especially during the rainy season. What makes them truly remarkable is how they have managed to preserve their way of life for so long, relying on ancient methods to survive. First documented in the 1970s, the Tau't Batu were discovered still making fire by rubbing stones together and wearing simple, traditional clothing. Their lives revolve around hunting, gathering, and farming skills passed down from their ancestors. But life isn't easy for them. With limited access to education and healthcare, they face many struggles in today's modern world. Despite this, they continue to protect their deep connection with the land and nature. While some of their traditions remain, modern challenges are making life harder. They still rely on caves for shelter and the environment for survival, showing just how closely their lives are tied to the land. Yet the threat of losing their culture looms as outside influences creep in. The Tau't Batu people offer a window into a simpler, yet more fragile way of life, as they face the ongoing pressures of adapting to a rapidly changing world. The Tau't Batu tribe, meaning people of the rock, are considered one of the most isolated indigenous groups in the Philippines. They reside in the Singnapan Basin, a remote valley nestled in the southern region of Palawan, which is part of an extinct volcano. This natural environment acts as a fortress, with steep mountain walls protecting the tribe from contact with the outside world for generations. The tribe is a subgroup of the larger Palawan ethnic group, but their unique lifestyle and living conditions set them apart from other Palawan tribes. The Tau't Batu's first recorded contact with outsiders occurred in the 1970s, sparking interest due to their remarkable isolation. Anthropologists found the Tau't Batu living in caves and practicing a way of life that had barely changed for centuries. What fascinated researchers was their near-total isolation, surviving off the land without modern tools or conveniences. The tribe's self-reliance was evident in their use of simple tools, their clothing made from bark and other natural materials, and their traditional method of making fire by rubbing stones together. These ancient practices are what preserved the tribe's way of life, making them a living link to the past. While the Tau't Batu largely lived in isolation, it wasn't absolute. Occasionally, they would trade with other indigenous groups for items like tobacco or cloth, but these interactions were rare and minimal. Their isolation helped keep their culture mostly intact. Their rediscovery by modern society in the 1970s and later visits in 1978 by then-President Ferdinand Marcos brought public attention to their way of life. The Marcos visit was not just political, but also drew attention to the anthropological importance of the tribe. In addition to witnessing their simple lifestyle, the president's entourage reportedly found rock drawings and other archaeological artifacts, suggesting that the Tau't Batu's presence in the region dates back to Neolithic times. This historical significance painted a clearer picture of the evolution of human culture in Palawan, as the Tau't Batu people became a key subject of study. The rock drawings and other relics suggested that the tribe might have been part of early human migrations through the Philippines, adding a significant chapter to the history of human settlement in Southeast Asia. The Tau't Batu, despite their isolation, have successfully preserved much of their oral history and cultural traditions, passing them down through generations. The rediscovery of their existence opened the door for anthropologists and historians to understand how ancient communities survived in remote environments, as well as how isolation affects the evolution of culture. However, with their rediscovery came the risks of outside influences. While some efforts were made to document and preserve their culture, the growing interest in their existence also led to tourism and outside contact, which began to subtly alter their way of life. The Tau't Batu's ability to survive in the Singnapan Basin relies heavily on their environment. They practice hunting, gathering, and swidden farming, a form of slash-and-burn agriculture. Their living situation changes depending on the season, showcasing their adaptability. During the rainy season, they retreat to caves situated high up in the mountains. The caves provide natural protection from floods that are common in the basin during heavy rains. These caves are more than just shelters, they are spaces where families gather, store food, prepare meals, and protect themselves from dangerous weather. Inside the caves, the Tau't Batu store food in woven baskets and prepare meals on simple stone hearths. These caves, in many ways, serve as natural fortresses, offering both safety and privacy. The high elevation also gives them a vantage point, allowing them to observe the surrounding landscape for wild game or potential dangers. During the dry season, the Tau't Batu move out of the caves and build temporary shelters on the basin floor. These huts, constructed from bamboo, palm leaves, and other natural materials, are designed to be mobile. This allows the tribe to move to new areas for farming or hunting depending on the needs of the community. Each household constructs its own hut, but they often live close together, forming small clusters of homes. Their diet primarily consists of root crops such as cassava, sweet potatoes, and yams. These are grown in small garden plots cleared through swidden farming. This method involves cutting down vegetation, allowing it to dry, and then burning it to enrich the soil with nutrients. After a few growing cycles, the plot is abandoned to allow the forest to regenerate, and the tribe moves to a new area. This cycle ensures that the land remains fertile and prevents overuse. Hunting is a critical component of their survival. The Tau't Batu are skilled hunters, known for their ability to track and hunt a variety of wild animals. They hunt wild pigs, monkeys, and small birds using simple weapons like bows and arrows. These tools are made from natural materials, with the bowstrings crafted from fibers found in local plants. Hunting is typically done in small groups, with the men working together to trap and kill the animals. In addition to hunting, the Tau't Batu are adept at gathering fruits, wild honey, and other forest resources. They collect wild fruits such as bananas, jackfruit, and taro, which provide essential vitamins and nutrients. Wild honey is particularly prized, not only for its nutritional value but also for its role in the tribe's rituals and medicine. Honey is often used in traditional healing practices to treat wounds and infections. What makes the Tau't Batu unique is their deep knowledge of the land. Every member of the tribe is taught from a young age to understand the plants and animals in their environment. This indigenous knowledge is passed down orally, with each generation learning how to identify edible plants, how to track animals, and how to use the forest's resources sustainably. This connection to the land is not just practical but also spiritual, as they believe in the animistic concept that spirits inhabit the natural world. The Tau't Batu's survival techniques also extend to medicine. While they have no formal healthcare system, they rely on a vast array of herbal remedies to treat common illnesses. For example, they use leaves and bark from specific trees to treat fevers, wounds, and digestive issues. Shamans, or traditional healers, play a vital role in the community, using their knowledge of herbs and plants to heal the sick. In terms of social structure, the Tau't Batu live in small, close-knit communities where families work together to ensure the survival of the group. There is no formal chief or leader. Instead, decisions are made collectively, often involving the elders, who are respected for their wisdom and experience. This communal decision-making process helps maintain harmony within the tribe and ensures that resources are shared fairly. Despite the tribe's reliance on their traditional practices, modern challenges are beginning to affect their way of life. Deforestation, climate change, and the encroachment of modern society are making it harder for the Tau't Batu to live as they once did. Logging activities in nearby areas are reducing the availability of wild game and forest resources, forcing the tribe to adapt in new ways. Additionally, increased contact with tourists and other outsiders is slowly introducing new ideas and influences, which may further erode their traditional lifestyle. However, despite these challenges, the Tau't Batu remain a resilient people, fiercely protective of their land and their culture. Their ability to adapt to their environment while maintaining their connection to their ancestral ways is a testament to their deep-rooted knowledge and survival skills. The social structure of the Tau't Batu is relatively simple, but it reflects their deep connection to each other and to the land. Families are the basic unit of society, and each family lives together in their own household or kasawahan. Several households may come together to form a larger community unit known as bulun-bulun. These groupings are essential for maintaining social bonds and ensuring the survival of the tribe. One of the most important aspects of Tau't Batu culture is their relationship with nature. The tribe views the natural world as a living entity, and they believe that spirits inhabit the forests, rivers, and mountains. This belief system, known as animism, shapes much of their daily life. Before hunting or planting crops, rituals are performed to ask permission from the spirits. These rituals are led by shamans, who are considered the spiritual leaders of the community. Another key aspect of their culture is oral tradition. With no written language, the Tau't Batu pass down their history, beliefs, and survival techniques through stories and songs. These oral traditions play a crucial role in keeping their cultural identity alive, as they teach the younger generation about the tribe's past and the skills necessary for survival. Despite their efforts to remain isolated, the Tau't Batu tribe is not immune to the pressures of modernity. Economic and environmental changes are beginning to impact their way of life, posing significant challenges to their survival. For one, the tribe has limited access to education and healthcare. In recent years, there have been efforts to bring basic services to the region, but these efforts are often inconsistent, and many members of the tribe still lack access to proper medical care. Another major threat is deforestation. The forests around the Singnapan Basin are being cleared for logging and agriculture, which threatens the tribe's ability to hunt and gather. As the natural resources they rely on become scarcer, the Tau't Batu are being forced to adapt. Some have started to engage in small-scale farming or trade with nearby communities to survive, but this is a departure from their traditional way of life. There is also a growing interest in tourism, with visitors coming to the region to learn about the tribe. While this can provide some economic benefit, it also brings with it the risk of cultural disruption. Increased contact with the outside world threatens the Tau't Batu's cultural integrity, as younger generations may begin to adopt modern ways of living at the expense of their ancestral traditions. The future of the Tau't Batu tribe remains uncertain. On one hand, their resilience and adaptability have allowed them to survive for centuries in one of the most remote regions of the Philippines. On the other hand, the growing pressures of modernity, environmental degradation, and the loss of cultural practices pose significant challenges. Efforts are being made by government agencies and non-governmental organizations to help protect the tribe and its environment. Some initiatives focus on preserving the tribe's cultural heritage, while others aim to provide the Tau't with access to modern services without forcing them to abandon their way of life. Despite these challenges, the Tau't Batu continue to hold onto their traditions. Their connection to the land, their reliance on ancient survival techniques, and their commitment to family and community remain strong. However, as the world around them changes, the tribe will need to find new ways to balance their traditional lifestyle with the demands of the modern world.